Hi everyone, and welcome back to Starflight Creations, my Flosstube channel where I talk about my cross stitching. And today we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. My last Flosstube was on May 1st. I planned to come back after 2 weeks, but I lost my stitching bug for about a week, and so I really didn't have a whole lot to show. So I decided I'd do my typical 3-week video, but then right at 3 weeks my life got really busy, so I ended up pushing it. Just a little life recap. I ended up applying for a new job and went through an interview and hiring process and ended up just putting in my 2 weeks notice. So I'm in the middle of that transition, so I've had a lot less stitchy time as I've been doing the interview process, and probably will still have a dip in my stitchy time as I move forward into the new job and the training into that. And then also I kind of got a resurgence of interest in my book, and so I found a artist to do the images for the cards for my book, and so I've been working with her to send the paper files over to her of what I had before, and then she's been drawing them and sending them back to me, and I just got the first batch of images from her, and they're amazing. And then so that's kind of driven me to writing some more on it, so I can get the next chapter out. Plus I found a new online game called For the Words that lets you do quests and to fight monsters and collect loot as you write. And so I've been doing that, and like it does things where it gives you rewards for doing so many word count or so many streaks in a row of hitting the word counts. So I've been doing that every day, so that has cut into my stitching time a little bit, but I've been getting some good progress in my book, so that, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. And then just to use Justin Marie's word, it's been a Maycember, so all of the plans I had just kind of got buried under reality and all of the various things that have happened, so it's just been a really busy month. So let's start with what I had planned to do. I had planned to take all of my projects and spin a wheel and work on them and put 500 stitches into all of them, and then I was going to put in 100 stitches into all of them, and that all went flat out the window. I think I did the one project that a friend had been like, oh, you should do this one, and that was it. Like, other than that, I have been putting stitches into my Lola crochet. I put some stitches into my whip into shape piece and got caught up to the end of April, and other than that, that's it. I really haven't done too much more with Maymania. As fun as it sounded, I really just didn't get into that. So what did I get for stitching? So to start with, my Museum After Midnight Sal. So this is what the frame will look like. The first piece of it is getting released this Friday. So everybody's been trying to get the frame done of the Sal. This is by Lola Crow. I am stitching it on a 14-piece of Ada that I hand-dyed myself. Last time you saw it, this is what it looked like. I had just a couple of the top arches in and one kind of half arch of the middle. Um, so people shared online an image that showed, I'll show that first one again. So of the big one, the two ones on the bottom are where the first and second ones are going to go. And then I think it goes up to the middle for the third. And then it's like down on the bottom for the fourth again. I don't really remember, but I just know that for the first one, you're definitely stitching in the bottom sections. So I saw that and I decided I was going to work my way down to it. So here's where I've got to. So the first thing that I did was I started over here and I came over and kept pushing this in, and I just kept working my way across in the middle of the second piece. But then I realized I really wasn't getting as much progress as I wanted, so I ended up making my way down, and so now I have something, to anchor my stitches off of on both sides of the bottom. And then I started remembering again to actually take pictures for Natesia's Wanderlust, so I didn't actually wanted to move my frame the Q-snap the last time I did it. So, because before I'd just been taking the black and following, I was just putting black in and just following the arches around and making my way down and just putting black in. So I came back up and started putting in the 840 and the 3031, and so now I just there's a couple of other colors here that go under that, but all of those ones there are done, and along this side. But I really do need to move over and finish the left and the right sides of these, just that way I have those completely done for it to start this Friday. I did use Crafty Emily's tactic of putting on the Q-snap and then rolling it to tighten it, and that has worked wonders for me, so that was a really excellent tip. So I have put in 983 stitches since you last saw it, which brings me up to 1,367 of 6,307, which is 21.7%. And I was really thinking I was going to stay caught up on this now. So now I am just trying to put in as much as I can before it starts, and then I will just be doing the ones that drop and seeing if I can't add a little bit to the frame as we go along. And then the next one, I managed to join Michael from Uplift Stitches created a Discord, and a bunch of them in that Discord had a Tuesday morning Zoom, and so I joined in that one last Tuesday, or maybe the Tuesday before, and I managed to put in some stitches into the project I'm using for Whipping the Shape. If you don't know, Whipping the Shape was created by Andrew the Runner Stitcher as a challenge for you to put in so many stitches for each mile or step that he runs. Right now he's not actually training for a marathon, so it's just walks instead of runs. But I am significantly behind. He did just go back to work, so he will probably slow down a little bit. But I'm still like 800 stitches behind as of that Tuesday where I worked on it. So I have a ways to go to catch up, but at the moment this one hasn't been the highest priority. And so for it, I am doing the Nostalgic Tarot cards by the Witchy Stitcher. This is what they will look like when they're all done. And last that you saw it, this is what it looked like. I had just put in the green on the panda's outline, and then started working over on the little bucket. And so I came in and started this ledge that he's standing on. I took that across, and then I came in and I got the silky black thread that I was ordered using a gift card that a friend gave me for my birthday. And so I went in and started putting that black in. And I'm really liking the way the black turns out. You can tell the difference between it and the fabric. But it's just been a lot of like straight stitches like up here. So like I got this one to like here, and then like this side to there. And just a lot of bits where like the tops of the ears are done. And it's like slowly working its way into the body. So I really need to put some more into this to keep it going and get back up on that that challenge. But I just haven't been feeling as much called to that. Probably because I've put a lot of that into it either before the retreat or at the retreat. So kind of been letting myself have a break from that one. And then the one project that I really touched for May Mania was, okay, there's a bunch of needle miners on the floor, was my Animal Crossing piece that Megan from MJ Stitches 23 recommended that I work on. The last time you saw it, it looked like this. And I went in and added the edges along the bottom here. I put 201 stitches in onto this. So that was fun, especially since this is my oldest whip now. It was kind of fun to get some stitches into this and see some progress happening on that one. So that one is now at 2,192 stitches of 8,068, which brings it to 27.2%. And for the tarot cards, those are now up to 4,906 stitches of 1,116 stitches, which is 4.4%. But that's the entire frame and all of the cards. So then there were a couple of ones that I had basically just because I was working on them at work. And so one of them was a new start for WhipGo, because my WhipGo I'm doing a year of new starts. So every single time she calls a number, that gives me a new pattern to start, and I'm trying to put 500 stitches into them. So one of them that I did a new start on was the reader of the Queen of the Needles series by The Primitive Hare. And I now have it up to here. This is a hand-dyed 14 count Ada. I'm really liking the way that the gold stars come out on the fabric. But literally I've only been working on this one at work, so it gets like 15 stitches here, 20 stitches there. So I thought I was doing really good on it and was really far along. And then discovered that I have put in 120 stitches on it. So not quite as good as I wanted. And since it is a paper pattern, I don't have statistics of how far that is on the pattern. but that means I still need another 480 stitches on that to complete that for Whip Go and have that done. One that I have had completed for Whip Go but did end up coming out for, it was kind of for May Mania, but really it came out because at the time it was sitting nearby and I just didn't want to get up and move to grab a project, so I grabbed it, which is E is for Elephant. And the last time you saw it, it looked like this. And so what I have done is just continue to put more of the gray in. And so it doesn't really look like it, but I did put in 227 stitches of gray to get more of the elephant's frame, and so it was just mainly in the trunk and then up around this saddle blanket, whatever it is. And so I got that in, which brings me to 1,482 stitches on it. Again, that is a paper pattern, so I don't have statistics of what that is of the total. But I am getting really close to having the elephant done. And then I will just have to finish taking the border around the four sides. And then do the other side, because it makes it into a little stitchy box. And that is all of my stitching. It's all of my stitching that I've done for the month of May, which puts that at 1,978 stitches for May, which is a really bad month for me. I went in and put my stats into Michael's RPG Character Creator Challenge, and I even reduced like some of the what is considered a new start value and what is considered a barely started value, and I still came with a total of 15 points, so I got a 3 on my strength. So my guy will definitely be long range and hopefully a mage. I mean, he's an artificer, so I'm not sure. I haven't played an artificer before, so I'm not sure what that goes, but I think that you could have a mage component on it. So I really need to do well on the months going forward that deal with intelligence or charisma to have those ones high, and hopefully some of the other ones can get higher, because that is a really bad score for strength. But haul, I didn't buy this week or this month. I did buy this actually when I was at the convention in April, but it did show up during this week or this month, so I will show it. And so I bought a complete kit from the Forbidden Fiber Co. for their D&D. Though it wasn't called D&D, it was called like Mazes and Pathways or something like that. And so it came as this whole little kit, and so it came with this, let's see if I can get the glare off of it, this little project bag that had a little dragon zipper pull, and then it came with a 1/8 of a yard of 14 count Ada, which it did give you the option to choose what you wanted, and that's what my choice was. And this is from the Forbidden Fiber Co. in the color Initiative. I don't know if this one will show up, but it is very lightly mottled. I don't know if any of that mottling is showing up, but it does have a very light, like pinkish mottling in there. And then it had the kit, and the kit included the pattern, which is this cool little dragon and dice with a sword and staff, and then the floss you needed for it on these little floss cards. So that is some really fun colors. And last but not least, a needle minder. Come on. There we go. So, that was a little beholder. So, that was fun. I don't know, I felt it was good value for the money. But I don't know, I guess I, like a lot of the other people, have kind of got burnt out on buying things like mystery. So I don't know if I would buy it for them again, just because they do a lot of mystery boxes. And, but on the flip side, like, did I, like, for the fabric, and for the floss, and for the needle minder, and for the project bag, it wasn't a bad thing for the thing, and I did, like, it came really fast and professionally prepared, so I'm, like, I wouldn't, like, not buy from them again, but I think, like, I might wait to see if, like, you know, just buy a project bag from them as a project bag and not try and get a mystery pattern, just because I feel like I'm getting to the point where I've got enough patterns in stash and on the go that I really don't need to get something that's a maybe. Like, I want to get something that really calls me to stitch it. So, I don't know when exactly I will start that one. At the moment, I'm not feeling a direct need to start it because I've got so much other stuff on the go. But we'll see. Like, I've got it now already. So, that was that. And then the other thing that I got, where did that go? Here it is. I was reached out to on Instagram by my first, I don't know, quasi-sponsor. So they offered me a free pattern or kit and asked if I wanted it, and so I was like, oh yes, I would love that. And it's Povitrulla, handmade, and so they were really nice and just gave me a list of patterns I could choose from and said choose any of the ones on the list. So I chose Sam Hain, because one of my friends is pagan, and she's spooky and gothic is all up her her interests, and so I figured after I got done with it I could give it to her, and so they sent it to me, and so it came with the pattern, the fabric, and a little floss card with floss already kitted up and ready for you. So that is fun, and I will definitely be getting a start on that so that way I can finish it and give them their review. But so far, you know, it came really nice, very well organized, very well packed. It's been, like, even if I just bought it, it would have been a great stitching experience. I did see that they did have a lot of bigger patterns on their website rather than just, because I went and looked at their Instagram, and they did have pictures of their kits, so like bigger kits rather than just bookmarks. So it might be fun to get one of those later in the future. But it did look like they were like a Russian or Ukraine spot that had a bunch of different, like they were one seller for a bunch of different Ukraine or Russian artists. So it would be fun to support them further in the future to buy one of the bigger kits from them. But that was a lot of fun just to have someone reach out and be like, hey, would you want to stitch our stuff? And to get something for free and try that was really nice. So that's all of the new stuff that I've gotten this month. So now into plans. So for plans, Jessie Marie does stuff called out the Whip Go numbers for June. And the Whip Go numbers for June were 21 and 12. 21 for me is Elemental Dragons, which is this pattern. And I got this variegated DMC number 53 to do it in a while back at Acorns and Threads, my local nail shop. So I have this ready to go. And then number 12 was I don't know. I call it White Tiger, but it's actually Tiger with Butterfly, which is this Design Works kit that has everything inside of it. So those are the two that were called for this month. And so that made me start thinking, what, like, June is the 6th month, so we're halfway through. How are we doing? So far they have called 13 because on April, they called number 13. So they, a lot of people just have that as a free space, so they called 3 that month. I don't have 13 as a free space because I don't have a number 25, because I got this little advent calendar board and I gave it 1 through 24, and so I've got all of the projects assigned there, and then each month she'll call 2 numbers. So when she gets to call number 25, I won't have that one. So I have completed 2 calls for Whip Go. For February, I completed number 5, which was my Acorns and Friends pattern. And then for March, I completed number 3, which was E is for Elephant. So I still have 11 to go, even though I think I'll probably hold one of those out for when number 25 is called. But so I have Night and Day, Penance, Jungle Walk, The Reader, Summoner, Your Goddess, Stitcher's Heaven, Frankie, Happiness, and then Elemental Dragons and White Tiger. Penance, The Reader, The Summoner have all been started. The rest of them have not. So I decided that I'm going to take this last few days, So basically Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday before the new piece of the pattern for the Lola coastal style drops on Friday, and work on some of my whip goes. So I couldn't decide whether or not I wanted to do like just jump into ones I already had going, or if I wanted to jump into a new one. And so, I did what I always do when I can't make a decision. I created a tiny decisions wheel and decided that we would spin for it here and decide what I'm doing. So let us get to that wheel. So I did take Your Goddess off the wheel because, number one, that month there were 3 called, and I'm kind of playing around in my mind with an idea of what to do with her for Flossmas. So I have the other 10 on the wheel, and so we are going to spin it, and we shall see what we get. So, White Tiger. So, it looks like we will see if we can't get 500 put into this. And if I get 500 into this, I will either jump on one of the other ones that I want to work on, or I will spin the wheel again. And I think I will keep doing that until I have caught up on all of my past whip goes. I do know that once the sale starts, I'm going to try and stay caught up at least with those weekly ones. I don't know how I'm going to do on it. I also really want to get back to Darkthorn Keep. I really liked playing that. I really want to get back into that again. So I think I may keep the Sal as my weekend piece. So right now my weekend is Wednesday, Thursday. I think that's gonna change to like Monday, Tuesday with my new job, but I won't know for a couple of weeks until I can get a verification on that. So I think I'm gonna keep that for a weekday, and then I'll use at least one weekday for Whip Go, one weekday for Darkthorn Keep, and then I'll have a couple of weekdays where if I don't stitch, I don't stitch. I am going to go that way going forward. Just that way, if I every single time I do a video, if I do a video every 2 weeks, if every single time I do this video, I spin it twice, then I'll know that I need to get those 2 done for Darkthorn Keep. Because if I just say, oh, I'll spin the wheel when I'm going to stitch that day, I discover I don't stitch. I don't touch any of them, and Darkthorn Keep just sits in the back, and it's a game that I don't play. So I just think that's how I'm going to do it going forward, because I want to keep a large effort for the Sal. I'm trying to keep one of the other weekend days clear, just because I'm in a round robin that my portion of the round robin is done, and I'm waiting on other people to swap. So in case that does go through and then I need to start working on that, I want to have that day free to devote to that, just that way I don't feel like I'm keeping them behind. That really hasn't been an issue right now, so that will kind of be like a day where I can stitch on whatever I'm really feeling called towards till then, but I think that's where I'm going to go going forward. So we'll see how much I can get done before the first part of the saddle drops, whether or not I can get a good chunk of that frame put in, and see if I can't get 500 put into this tiger. And then I also have someone from the last retreat I was at who reached out and said that they wanted to get a padfolio, so I need to reach back out to them and try and put that together. So I may have that to do on one of my weekend days as well. So I'm just kind of hoping that things start slowing down a little bit so I can spend some more time stitching, because I really want to put some time stitching in. But that's how I think it's going to go going forward. So I will see you in 2 weeks, and we can see if these plans went like my normal plans and just immediately went straight out the window. Thanks everybody, and I appreciate you all coming back and watching again.